Hello, we hope you're enjoying your stay at Toshi's place.
To help you make the most of your time in Kamakura, we've prepared this sightseeing guide.
Today, we'll introduce you to Zuisen-ji Temple.
Ah, Zuisen-ji, or Dowo in Japanese. It's such a beautiful spot.
It really is. It's this wonderfully serene Zen temple, kind of tucked away in the natural landscape of Momichi-gayatsu.
Momichi-gayatsu. People often call it Kamakura's hidden sanctuary, and for good reason.
Absolutely. But it's not just about being quiet, is it? There's this amazing harmony there.
Exactly. It's this blend of Zen ideas and just raw natural beauty. They really come together.
And making it, well, a perfect retreat if you're looking for some calm, maybe a bit of reflection.
Right. You get nature, history, and that Zen feeling all in one place.
So let's maybe dive into its history a bit. It goes way back.
It does. Founded early 14th century. So that's the late Kamakura period.
A really pivotal time in Japanese history.
Definitely. And the person behind it was, well, incredibly important. The founding abbot, Muso Soseki.
Muso Soseki. You hear his name associated with quite a few famous gardens, actually.
Oh, absolutely. A prominent Zen master, but also much more. He had this huge influence.
People really respected him, didn't they? Even powerful figures.
Immensely. We're talking Emperor Go-Daigo Ashikaga Takauji.
Yeah.
You know, the first shogun of the Muromachi shogunate.
Wow, so real heavy hitters.
Yeah, and think about it. Those two were often on opposing sides, but they both respected Muso Soseki. That says something.
It really does. So his vision must have been quite profound.
Totally. His spiritual vision, his sense of aesthetics, you can really feel it all through the temple grounds. It shapes the whole place.
And maybe the best example of that is the main highlight, right? The rock garden.
Oh, for sure. The rock garden is magnificent.
Yeah.
And he designed it himself.
Personally designed by Muso Soseki. That's quite something.
It is. But what makes it really unique isn't just who designed it, but how it was made.
Okay, tell us more.
Well, it's not just rocks arranged on the ground. It's actually carved directly out of a natural rock formation.
Carved. Out of the rock.
Yeah. It's a type of tough rock they call Kamakura stone. And because of that, it's one of the very few gardens left from the Kamakura era that's still, basically in its original form.
That's incredible. So it's literally part of the landscape.
Precisely. Which ties right into the Zen idea of working with nature, not just imposing on it.
So it's that dry landscape style, kari sansui.
Exactly, kari sansui.
Yeah.
Using rocks and sand, or in this case, the carved rock itself, to suggest mountains and water.
Symbolizing the whole universe, eternity, that kind of thing.
You got it. Reflecting that unity of Zen philosophy and nature. It's very deep.
So when you visit, you probably shouldn't just walk through and snap a picture.
Well, you could, but you'd miss the point. Really, the idea is to sit quietly, contemplate, engage in a bit of meditation, maybe. It was created for Muso Soseki's own spiritual practice, his own reflection.
So it invites you to do the same.
It really does. And there's another layer, too, a spiritual one.
Oh.
The garden is meant to represent Mount Patalaka.
Mount Patalaka. That sounds familiar. Isn't that connected to Kannon Bodhisattva?
Exactly. The pure land of Kannon, the Bodhisattva of compassion. So sitting there looking at the garden.
You're meant to feel that sense of peace, spiritual comfort.
That's the idea. It adds this whole other dimension to the experience. It's quite profound.
Wow. And thinking about contemplation, there are other interesting spots there too, right? These cave-like things.
Oh, yes. Within the garden area, you'll probably notice them. Tenyodu and Zazen-kutsu, which is also called Hokokutsu.
They look like little caves almost.
They do. They're called yagura. These horizontal cave sites are actually a very distinctive feature, really unique to Kamakura.
You don't see them elsewhere.
Not quite like this. And they have a history. They were formed in the soft sandstone,
right,
using special masonry techniques, apparently introduced by another famous monk, Nincho.
So they weren't just natural caves.
No, they were adapted, used as sacred spaces for Zen training, meditation, devotion to Kannon too.
So really tied into the temple's purpose, reflecting Kamakura's specific religious culture.
Absolutely. Little secluded spots for deep practice.
And speaking of special spots, if you climb up a bit, there's the site of that pavilion.
Ah, yes. Henkai Ichirantai, the Pavilion of Panoramic Views. It used to be up on the hill.
And they held poetry gatherings there. That sounds lovely.
Doesn't it? Can you just imagine? Writing poetry with that view?
What was the view like?
Oh, apparently breathtaking.
Yeah.
You could see over Kamakura City, out to Sagami Bay.
Wow.
And on clear days, even Mount Fuji.
No way. Fujisan.
Yep, which makes Zuisen-ji a perfect example of a shakai garden.
Right, the bard scenery technique.
Exactly, where the garden design intentionally incorporates those distant views, making them part of the whole composition.
So the garden doesn't just stop at its borders, it pulls the whole landscape in.
That's it perfectly. Now, the pavilion itself isn't open anymore,
Oh, okay.
but you can sometimes see parts of the remains if you're on the Ten hiking trail nearby, so keep an eye out if you're hiking.
Good tip. And for anyone interested in literature,
Ah, yes. There are several literary monuments scattered around the grounds, too.
connecting the temple to more modern writers.
Right. People like Yoshida Shoin from the late Edo period and Takahama Kiyoshi, famous haiku poet.
So it adds another layer for visitors, linking past and, well, more recent past.
It does. Now, we should definitely talk about the temple's nickname.
Oh, yeah, the Temple of Flowers.
It really, really lives up to it. It's a feast for the eyes pretty much year-round.
Okay, so what can people expect to see season by season?
Well, starting early, like late January to mid-March, you get the early blooming plum trees.
Ume blossoms. Oh, the fragrance must be amazing.
It is such a sign of resilience blooming in the cold. Then, of course, spring brings the cherry blossoms. Classic Japanese beauty.
Fleeting, but beautiful.
Then early summer, say June to early July, it's hydrangea time. Lots of blues and purples.
Lovely.
And get that they even have some winter blooming sakura, which is pretty unusual.
Winter cherry blossoms. Wow.
Yeah. And for autumn visitors, Zuisen-ji is famous for having some of the latest autumn foliage in the whole Kanto region.
Really? How late?
We're talking early to late December sometimes, so you get those stunning reds and golds, even when other places are bare.
That's fantastic. So basically, pick your favorite season or just go anytime.
Pretty much. Maybe plan your visit based on what flowers you'd love to see. Great for photos, obviously.
Definitely. Now, there's also a rather touching story connected to the temple, isn't there? About a Jizo statue.
Ah, yes, the Dokomoku Jizo, a statue of Jizo Bodhisattva you'll find on the grounds.
Jizo is such a beloved figure, the protector.
Very much so. And this specific statue has a story. There was a temple caretaker apparently having a really hard time thinking of leaving.
Okay.
And he had a dream. In the dream, the Jizo statue spoke to him.
What did it say?
It said, "Suffering exists everywhere, Dokomoku."
Suffering exists everywhere. That sounds profound.
It is. And instead of despair, the caretaker apparently found it comforting. The sense that, hardship is universal, not just his burden.
I see, like a shared experience.
Exactly. And he found peace, decided to stay at the temple. So the statue became known as the pain-relieving Jizo,
What a beautiful story.
isn't it? And it shows how, Buddhism in Japan isn't just abstract ideas. It's woven into everyday life, offering real comfort.
Providing solace and resilience. That's really lovely.
It really is.
Okay, so if people are feeling inspired to visit, let's cover the practical stuff. How do you get there? Opening times.
Right. Essential info.
Yeah.
So the temple's open all year, 9:00 a.m. to 5:00 p.m.
Okay, standard temple hours.
Pretty much. Last entry is at 4:30 p.m., so give yourself enough time.
And admission.
Very reasonable. 200 yen for adults, 100 yen for elementary and junior high kids, and it's free for visitors with disabilities.
Good to know. And getting there. Driving.
Driving is tricky. Parking is super limited, maybe only 10 spots.
Oh, okay. So public transport is the way to go.
Definitely recommended. From Kamakura Station, just grab a bus heading towards Daitanamiya.
Autonomy stop.
That's the one. Get off there, and it's about a pleasant 10-minute walk to the temple gate. Nice little stroll.
Perfect. Any final tips for visitors?
Yes, definitely wear comfortable walking shoes.
Ah, good call. Why's that?
Parts of the path leading up to the temple and around the grounds can be a bit narrow, maybe a little steep. So yeah, comfy shoes are a must.
Okay. Noted.
And also, if you can, especially during those peak flower seasons like the plums or the autumn leaves, try to go early in the morning.
For a quieter experience.
Exactly. It's just magical then. Really peaceful. You might get parts of it almost to yourself. It lets you soak in that atmosphere Muso Soseki intended.
Sounds like the best way to experience it. Zuisen-ji really does sound like a place with so many layers.
It really is. The garden, the history, the caves, the flowers, the views, it all comes together.
A real gem in Kamakura.
What did you think?
We hope the rest of your stay at Toshi's place will be filled with wonderful memories.